exciting episode of Can It Take a K26? Show where we take a variety of blasters and see if they can be upgraded using a K26 spring. I am your host, Captain Xavier, and if it's noisy in the background, that's because there's a fan going because it's warm, and I don't want to melt. But today we're looking at one really weird blaster and one of the new Nerf blasters that's recently come out as part of a whole series, and I'm eventually probably going to look at all of them, but I figured I'd get started with one just to kind of test the waters and see how it works. But we're going to start with the weird one. Our first contestant is the Porcupine Pop. This is a game that apparently is in fact produced by Hasbro. You prime it by pulling the tail and then you push down on the nose until it goes off at some random intervals. And whoever pushes it down when it goes off, haha, you lose. It shoots 9 darts out the top, and we were all hoping we could turn it into a landmine of some kind, but not so much. It's got very, very little power because it's just meant to shoot them out the top. So if the person was standing right above them and they somehow set it off, maybe? But of course we want to know, can it take a K26? Now I'm not going to open this one because this one belongs to Brett. And so I'm instead going to use this one, which belongs to Jose. And he has already had his wicked, wicked way with it. Apparently it takes about 2 hours to open this thing. It involves a blowtorch and the blood of the innocent. So, the important bits. Here's the randomization gear. It's not obviously really random, but those teeth are on there at whatever interval. They may be different from blaster to blaster. There's some rumor as to that, but that's when you push the nose down, it indexes, and then when one of these gets to the right place, it releases and all of that. This is, of course, the working mechanism. The catch is tragic. If you were to maybe cast it in aluminum or something, it might actually have enough force to be able to take much of a spring load. Unfortunately, it is the newer kind of floating head design, where K26 would fit in the plunger, but it wouldn't compress down into this plunger head, and then you wouldn't be able to get it to catch. So, wait, no, that isn't how the catch works on this one. You could cut all this off.
Oh yeah, it does. That's the thing.
So, oh no.
Alright, let's try it.
It's gonna break that nubbin off.
I'm gonna remove it anyways.
Well, alright then. Okay, we're gonna give it a go, because Jose's going to do I don't want, no, you don't want to know what he plans to do with it. Stop it. You're scaring the children. By the children, I mean,
What have you done to my brother?
What
have you done to my brother?
I need a weapon.
Where's my brother?
Murder. Rude. You're. Yeah. K26. I need K26.
This is our boss specifically. K26 up here.
Yeah.
We're out of K26.
We're out of K26. We're gonna cut it. Alright. So we are threading the old spring off of there. It seems stouter. So now we're gonna thread some K26 on here. It is gonna chew this priming rod all up. But that's okay, because
26.
you're apparently not actually terribly concerned about the ultimate fate of this thing.
As long as the ARs are intact, I'm good. Alright, I got it.
Okay. K26 fit, and I think it will catch. So Jose's going to now attempt to reassemble this thing. Now, a word from our sponsor.
Batmobile.
Huh. Alright, it's reassembled. It's all reassembled off. You don't want to know. Alright, here we go. Caught. Will it release? Go for it,
Ow! Fudge! Alright. It's like...
It's not.
Oh, Jesus!
So what was this? The Porcupine Pop will, in fact, take a K26. Getting it to release, you gotta mean it. But it will! And that's what this show is all about. On to the next contestant. After these messages. All of the K26 used on this series was donated by Out of Darts. Check out his new website at outofdarts.com for all your Nerf modding needs. Our next contestant is the Fang QS4. The Fang QS4 was released in 2019 as part of the Alpha Strike line. I have no idea what the QS stands for, but the 4 stands for, obviously it's got 4 ARs. The Alpha Strike line is supposed to be Nerf's budget line. It's supposed to be very, very cheap, and I assume is supposed to compete with the various off-brand blasters, the non-Nerf blasters that are all generally considerably less expensive. Interesting fact, there are no external screws that I have been able to find so far, and that's probably one of the cost-cutting measures. Metal is probably much more expensive than plastic, and so this appears to all be held together with clips and friction, and that's fascinating, and we're going to try to get into it. So let's see if this thing can take a K26. It is rear prime, so that's hopeful. But let's get into it. This first yellow shroud comes off fairly easily and can simply be removed and left off, which I like, because now it's in my colors and is a nice, very compact 4-shot pistol, so I like that. Alright, now let's see if we can figure out how to get the back end off. It looks like it's 3 clips, and it comes off real easy. Okay, so that was easy to get into. Now the question is, will this plunger head support K26? It's a fairly short spring, that's not surprising. There's also no rubber O-ring of any kind. It is just plastic that has been lubed. So there's another one of their cost-cutting measures, no rubber O-rings. The head is, of course, clipped on, which is going to make it harder to get the spring on and off, which could be a problem if it won't fit. So let's go grab some K26 and give this thing a try. Alright, I have some K26 here. And compression, I feel, is likely to be an issue. Well, maybe not, actually. There's a fair amount of space that has to compress into, it looks like. Question is, will it fit in that head? And I think it actually will. So we're going to go with the shortest possible K26 that we can get and still get compression, which is kind of going to be based on... So it needs to be pretty much the same length as that. That's not good, but we'll see. So about there. Those of you who will no doubt ask, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 coils long. Well, really 9 coils long. Okay, now we need to get this one off, which means I need a pair of pliers. The plunger rod does not seem particularly strong, no doubt another cost-cutting measure. Alright, let's get this on and see how badly it chews it up, and if it will compress, and if it will catch, and all the usual questions. Well, it will fit, and it looks like it'll compress. The question is whether it will hold. Now, a word from our sponsor. Sanity. Huh. We're going to pop that back on. And then for good measure, even though I'd rather leave it off, I'll probably end up just painting this black and then putting it right back on again. I am going to put it back on because it does supply some of the support on the back to keep that from just popping loose, which with K26 is decidedly a risk. So here we go. No problem. Okay, well, let's go put some darts through it in my fancy chrono thingy. yes for the Fang QS4, though the results are varied. It could definitely use some more testing. I would definitely like to try a heavier spring, but maybe not as heavy as K26. See if I can get it to drop quite so much per shot. It's interesting. It was regularly losing 5 FPS per shot originally, which is standard for smart ARs, but it was losing a lot more with the K26. So I assume it's just losing efficiency because of how cheaply this is manufactured. It probably, I mean, the barrels are loose, probably doesn't have good seals, and that extra power is just leaking out of places. So yeah, but it is very easy to get apart. If you take it apart too many times, you're probably going to end up breaking off a peg, and then it's not going to close anymore. But they are definitely cheap, like they say they are, and I kind of like it. So let's recap. All right, for those of you just tuning in or who just skipped to the end to see the results, that was a yes for the Porcupine Blaster that I don't actually have with me for this review, so picture a porcupine here. And that was a yes for the Fang QS4, which kind of surprised me. I wasn't expecting the internals to allow it, but it fit just fine. It caught just fine. I cut it to be the same length as the stock spring. It catches. It gives that first shot a heck of a boost of power, and all the rest of them dropped very quickly, though the last one was still coming in at what the first one came in originally. But very different depending on what kind of darts you put through it, and very different from the first shot to the last shot, which isn't surprising, but the amount of difference was surprising, and I suspect it's just the cheap nature of this. The seals aren't great. So I would like to try a spring somewhere in between the stock spring and a K26, just for fun. So yeah, that was interesting. I definitely want to try the rest of this line eventually, and I definitely want to get into the newer, the bigger ones that have come out, the new rival blasters and so forth, and see if they can take a K26, because I'm genuinely curious. Just have to wait for my budget to flatten back out after having bought a house and building a workshop and all that, but we will get to them. So if there are any blasters that you really want to see next, go ahead and put them in the comments, and I will try to hunt them down. I do have enough budget to probably buy a couple blasters, so I might get another one of these and one of the new rival ones, or I may wait and do the two rival ones together. I will probably do that just because it'll make a really nice episode. Probably do all the rest of the Alpha Strike together next, since they're cheap. Alright, anyway, there you have it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, put them in the comments section below. And thank you for watching.